Rob, thank you so much. Class of 2024, what a ride it has been. In the summer of 2020, Barb and I arrived when you did. In the midst of the COVID pandemic, so much uncertainty, anxiety, challenge. That was an awful time in so many ways. Hotel quarantines, tests, masks, Zoom classes, social distancing, all the opposite of what your college experience should be. But look what we accomplished together. We brought nearly everyone back to campus, even that first fall semester. We offered over half our classes in person, and as the year rolled on, more opportunities, more activities. We got through it about as well as any school in the land, and much better than most. And when people ask me how we did it, I give them a simple answer. We took care of each other. And that, I have learned, is the Skidmore way. People often ask me, what are Skidmore students like? And I smile and I say, man, there are as many kinds of Skidmore students as there are Skidmore students. Every single one of you is blessedly unique. And there is a trait you all share, something that is fundamental to Skidmore: kindness. There is a kindness to you and a kindness to our college that I have frankly not seen at any other school in my time. That kindness is what sustained us through the pandemic, and it continues to sustain us today. This past year, your long-awaited senior year, has been one of the most challenging on college campuses in generations. The awful tragedy unfolding in the Middle East has rocked campuses and divided communities. At Skidmore, we have leaned in to this conflict in all its complexity. We've talked, we've learned, we've demonstrated, we've challenged, we've argued, we've prayed. Have we been perfect? Nope. Could we have done better? Of course. But look at us today. You all have kept our campus safe. We have not had the violence that we see on other campuses. We continue to talk across difference. We try to understand, not to divide, on many causes and issues. And I will say to all of our students what I have said all year long: you have been engaged in legitimate political expression, and don't let anybody tell you differently. I give our students so much credit this year. You are impassioned, you are committed, you are eager to change this world for the better, which I have long said is what a Skidmore education is all about. And you have continued to think about the impact of your words and expressions on your fellow students. I have seen consideration, kindness about the student at your shoulder. At the end of the day, it's not the policies or the rules or the disciplines that'll carry us through. It's the caring, the empathy, and the kindness. And to all of you, on behalf of our college, I am grateful. I'm also grateful to the parents, the families, the loved ones who have stood by you these 4 years and more, who have supported, listened, encouraged, at times pushed, and always loved. Please join me in applause for all your loved ones who helped you get here today. And I have enormous gratitude for all those who have taught you at Skidmore. I'm fond of saying that everyone at Skidmore is a teacher. Coaches, administrators, campus safety, facilities, dining staff, they all teach you. But the life's blood of a great college is its faculty, who dedicate their brilliance, their learning, and their commitment to teaching you, the undergraduates of this college. And think for a moment about what your faculty faced in the spring of 2020 as they transformed everything they knew into new methods of teaching and advising and mentoring and guiding, and how they kept the Skidmore education going with whatever challenges they too were facing during the pandemic. Please help me with a thunderous applause for the Skidmore faculty. And on a very personal note, like you, today I complete my 4th year at Skidmore College. I feel like a graduating senior, though I've got a lot more I'm excited to do here at Skidmore in the years to come. And I feel a kinship with this senior class that will never go away. So I've done something I've never done before. In all the schools I've attended and worked at, I got myself a Skidmore class ring. That I wear today for the first time and will always wear. And of course, every class is special to me. Every class is special. But when people look closely, they'll see on this ring, 2024. Now let's think about this world you all are about to enter. It's a bit rough out there right now. Ukraine, South China Sea, the Middle East, Somalia, Myanmar, Haiti, global warming, climate change, artificial intelligence, so much swift and sudden change. You all were born into a world that hadn't yet heard of the iPhone or Facebook, to say nothing of Yik Yak, Discord, TikTok, and God only knows what's on the horizon. And the question I pose to you is the question people pose to me: are you ready? Are you ready? And I tell you, I have no fear of this future. Every generation faces its unique challenges, and to each, their challenges seem like the worst ones humanity has ever faced. Warfare, famine, tyranny, rapid change, that's been the reality since at least the Renaissance, and we find our way. And I do think the Skidmore education and the values it supports will stand you in good stead. I've already emphasized our fundamental kindness. Nothing is more important to meet the challenges of the coming days than kindness. That's what Dostoevsky says at the end of his great novel, The Brothers Karamazov. Let us first of all be kind. Amen, I say. And kindness is not softness. It's not weakness, just the opposite. Cruelty, tyranny, oppression, bullying, that's the way of softness. That's the way of fear. Kindness, fairness, charity, love, that's the hard way, and that's the way of strength. We send you out into the world to live those values and more, to exercise your democratic citizenship, to take responsibility for your communities, to respect the rights of self-determination, of equality for all, of the freedom to express one's beliefs, and especially the right to vote and choose who will represent us and what that representation will mean. Now, we've heard those principles so often they can become mere words. Don't let them. Live them, preach them, insist upon them, take responsibility for them. That's how we change the world for the better. And as long as we do that, I have no fear for the future. Now, I'm an English professor, so we will end with the words of a poet. And since tomorrow I depart with 24 Skidmore students for a 2-week travel seminar to Ireland, we'll close with an Irish poet, the Nobel laureate Seamus Heaney, who passed away when you all were just 9 or 10 years old. Heaney wrote about simple rural life, about intimacy and love and community. He also wrote about civil war, sacrifice, ritual violence, execution, and the terrors that can rend a world apart. He was raised in Derry in Northern Ireland and knew the division of civil war as well as anyone. In 1991, when the Northern Ireland conflict seemed most impossible to resolve, he wrote a strange work, a translation from ancient Greek into English of a play by Sophocles that he titled The Cure at Troy. The play is set during the Trojan War, the archetype of a world at war. And Heaney had the Northern Ireland conflict in mind, of course, but also the conflict of apartheid in South Africa. And the play was his effort to think through the pathway to peace during a time of apparently insoluble conflict. Its most famous lines have been oft quoted, and today is a good time to read them once again. He writes, "History says, don't hope on this side of the grave. But then, once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice can rise up, and hope and history can rhyme." Northern Ireland today is often pointed to as an example of how centuries of bloody conflict can be overcome. Peace can be achieved. And that's what I leave you all with today. Be not afraid. There is hope, and you are that hope. Yes, I tell you that hope and history can indeed rhyme, and you will write that poem for our future. Class of 2024, God bless you and thank you.